Hello, and welcome to Shite Games 2015. These are all the games that I've played this year that I think have been absolutely terrible. Tomorrow will be all the good games, and the day after that will be a review of my channel for this year. So we're going to start, and while I have notes on the games, well, on like the actual games that I've picked, so I'm just not plucking the games out the middle of the air. As you can tell by this stuttering and rambling, I don't have a script or anything to go off. So now all the games are in a non-particular list, like no particular order. But I do have two worst games, like winners of the worst games of 2015. And we're going to start with one which might upset some people, and it's Mirror's Edge, which I have in capital letters next to it. It is okay, and that's because when I first played this game, I went into it thinking that it would be Portal 2. It would be Portal 2 without portals, but sort of the nice, clean running mechanics and different things, it would be very similar, and would improve on those into making it more city running around stuff. No, it's a lot more complicated, which I don't think is a good thing. And when I first tried to play it, which put it on the list, was sort of the first playthrough of it, because I was originally going to try and play all these games before, so they were on my channel. I had the videos of them and a more in-depth review of like why I hated each one of these. So Mirror's Edge, I first played it with a controller, and I used the Logitech F310, which is, it looks like a PS3 controller but uses Xbox buttons. And I still wasn't used to the buttons. I'm still not used to the buttons. It presses X. I always press whatever the bottom one is as a PlayStation gamer before PC. And I don't know, it just it feels very meh. It feels like a missed opportunity. I know Mirror's Edge 2 is coming out 2016, I think, or has it already come out? I don't know. So it's very like, this is probably the most okay game on this list. I played it with keyboard and mouse. It was actually a lot better, which is quite surprising. You'd thought a game like this would be different than that, but at the same time it was the same for Portal. So, oh well. So yeah, Mirror's Edge, it's a very game. It wasn't, I went into it wrong, I think, mainly. If I'd have gone into it knowing what it was, I might have preferred it more. I still haven't completed the game. You never know. I might do one day if I'm really bored. And next, Kerbal Space Program. Now, you might have noticed that one of my favourite series was the Kerbal Space Plane Program series, which I started this year, I think, or it might have been late last year. And there has been a lot of it recently, because the way the mechanics used to work is you could make something that looked like what you wanted to make, and it'd roughly fly. Some of them wouldn't. I mean, there's videos of me trying to make Concorde, and it just explodes on the runway because it can't support itself. High encoding, you're not encoding, you're not even, like, recording a video. So, cannot find what do I know. Okay, OBS is freaking out because I'm recording just audio for it. So they changed. So it went from like an arcadey game that you could learn stuff about science and space in, and through the last two updates and into release, it suddenly turned into a simulator, which it wasn't what I paid for. And you'll notice this on a few of these games, that there are stuff I bought in early access, and then as they've gone through early access, they've changed, and the final results just, it wasn't what I paid for. I mean, looking down the list, one that really signifies that is coming up fairly soon. So yeah, KSP, I miss it. I mean, I liked the addition of the tech tree. I thought that was nice. That sort of gave you steps in what order to go. You know, before you could just go into the game, and with it being basically creative mode, you could just immediately try and head for the sun or whatever, whereas now there's sort of like steps to it, which I kind of like. And then the career mode came with upgrading stuff, and I just went, oh, it's turning too much into a tycoon game. And then when they redid like the physics, I just went, it ruined the Space Plane series, because you sort of had to make it work. Whereas, I mean, the classic video to watch is me making the fucker DR1 in Space Plane Program, because it was ridiculous. Although there's a new game just appeared on Steam called Simple Planes, and it looks and it's pretty much just make whatever planes you want and see if they fly, and it looks amazing. So I might get that and try that. And you never know, that might be on the best games list next year. So yeah, that's enough for KSP. Sad that it didn't like it did, although it's like my second most played game after CSGO. So yeah, and I'm pretty sure KSP was in the good games last year. which is honestly probably the same as the next one, which is Minecraft 1.9. Yes, the update's taken too long, it's too big. You could have got 3 updates out of this one update that's taken forever to make, and I think that would have actually been a better option. 3 smaller updates instead of one big update that's been delayed a lot and got a lot of bugs in it. They removed stuff for no reason. They just said, oh, we're going to fix this bug, even though that Minecraft itself has been a thing that's had bugs in, and when people use the bugs, not always said leave them in, but now they're owned by #Microsoft, as you can tell in all my Minecraft descriptions of any series that have started since then, if not all of them. Not a massive fan of Microsoft. I mean, right now, literally 5 minutes before I started recording this, it popped up saying 100 million people have upgraded to Windows 10, yes, and I'm one of the other people who haven't, because Windows 10 is a pile of arse. 1.9, not a massive fan of it. It just seemed very They've added a lot of stuff that, the combat changes some people are asking for, but they've kind of not done it in a good way and screwed over all the people who aren't interested in PvP. They can't, it's like, I suggested that they make it a game rule, and they can't do that. I've seen that now, it makes sense, because it's baked in throughout the game. There's not many things that I really like about it. I mean, the electrifying wings are just like, I don't want to ever get those. They just seem just like OP somehow. I don't know. It's just like, it's not Minecraft to me. I don't know. 1.9 is a bit sucky. And as I said in the last Christmas parkour episode, I think we're going to still be playing 1.9 next year when I go to play that, because I think we're going to start getting one update a year now, and it's going to be really sad. And Minecraft appears quite a lot here, because the next one is Minecraft for Windows 10. Now, for the 2 or 3 weeks that I had a Windows 10 on my main computer, I did play Minecraft for Windows 10. What horrendousness have they made? Now, I know the idea. The idea is that it's still Mojang's game, because Mojang make the Java PC version and the Pocket Edition. And the Windows 10 version now, because it's branched from Pocket Edition, whereas 4J Studios make all the console versions, and people are saying the console version is going really strange and kind of away from Minecraft itself. Going back to 1.9, we have the 1.9 boats to thank from the console, or was it the Pocket Edition? I can't remember. Anyway, for Minecraft for Windows 10, I wish they'd have chosen the console version to port it from. And it's kind of worrying, considering that eventually it's kind of been said that it'll replace the Java version, and so far, I don't know. Not a happy bunny. Minecraft, I played it for like half an hour, and it was horrible. It was just horrendous. The way that sort of the camera moves before the arm moves, so like, you'd turn your head and the arm would start moving off the screen because of like the way that stuff looks. So you'd turn and the arm wouldn't move, and then suddenly the arm would jump in, and it was just like, yeah! You can tell that because it's used to being like a sudden movement of someone moving their finger across a screen, that it's just not smooth yet, and it's just, I hate Minecraft for Windows 10. Going on to games that I actually used to enjoy again, similar to the Minecraft 1.9, Grand Theft Auto 5 for PC. What? I mean, I get 60 FPS in that game, even on 970, so it's not performance, but what it is it's just sort of, the servers aren't fantastic, everyone will get kicked out suddenly for no reason, and Grand Theft Auto 5 itself is just sort of, it's turned into, when they said, free DLC, everyone was like, yay, but the trouble is now it's free DLC for a load of incredibly expensive stuff that you can buy by either playing the game or by using our shark card, so it's like, the DLC is free, but to access the stuff in the DLC, you have to buy it with in-game money that is hard to get, kind of. Especially once you've played the heists once or twice, it starts getting a bit And the online, I just feel it's always been a bit meh. I never enjoyed it that much. I wish that they need to, like, this year or next year, release an expansion for it, an offline DLC. Otherwise, Grand Theft Auto 5 will just bleh. And it's just like, all the videos you see online of it now are people just doing like the silly ramp spinning round stuff that's just very bleh. I'm going to do that a lot during this thing. But like, I don't know, GTA 5 to me isn't jumping around on silly ramps and stuff, That almost feels like it should be an offshoot of a Burnout game somehow. So moving on to a game I haven't actually played that much of, but H1Z1, it seems incredibly meh. Now, I've never played DayZ, I've played Rust, Unturned, and 7 Days to Die. But H1Z1 just seems a bit of a mess. I mean, at least it works, which DayZ doesn't really do. But yeah, H1Z1 seems just bad. I haven't played that much of it. I do plan on actually doing maybe a series on it, possibly. But it just seems like the boat's been missed. I think I think that's what's also scuppering 7 Days to Die a little bit. The boat's been missed, and all of these other like bad early access survival games seem to have given all early access survival games bad names and stuff like The Forest, Deep Survival Deep what? Survival Deep, is that what it's called? Whatever it's called, that game, which is very similar to The Forest but in water. Is they seem okay. Someone's decided to do the washing up now. But yeah, other than that, it's a bit next is a game that I have played through and was voiced from sort of about halfway through. It's The Walking Dead Season 2. And it just, I don't know if it's because it's like, I could understand a guy more, as an 18-year-old guy myself, I could understand a guy more than a 5-year-old or however old she is girl somehow, but I don't know, it seemed very In Season 2, there's a lot more of, I click something and I want to do this, but you won't let me because I'm a little girl and it's either the adults are making decisions for me or I can't do it because of physical strength or whatever. Whereas I always felt like if I wanted to do something, I could do it with Lee in Season 1 more than I could do with whatever she was called, silly woman, girl, person, in Season 2. It was just not for me, really. And going sort of on with the sort of story-based, I love how I'm tying all these together, the story-based games, Life is Strange, which is a game I haven't actually played myself, although I downloaded it for some reason. It just, the whole premise of that game is that you can go back in time and change your decisions, which, through the whole game, I'm just like, these decisions don't matter, and now I've watched a full thing on people's channels. Yeah, your decisions in that game really do not matter. It's only like the last 2 or 3 decisions that matter, and it just feels like a whole waste of time playing the first 4 of the 5 episodes, or first 5 of the 6, or whatever it is. I don't know, it just seems like a bit of a missed opportunity, and it seems like every Square Enix game I ever see or play, I always just sort of go, there's that noise again. I don't know, I just don't seem to get on with Square Enix games very well. And we're going back to the survival game stuff, New Rust. Now, remember what I said about KSP and how everything changed? Well, when I purchased Rust, it was in the last update before they removed zombies from a zombie survival game. And then they eventually updated to New Rust, and I actually used to really enjoy the old Rust, which, on that time I only had my iMac and I used to get 9 FPS on it, when I used to get like 45 on the old version. So that was kind of sad. So that immediately sort of put me off the game. But it just seems like a whole load of meh. I don't understand what the point of it is anymore. To say it's sort of their second big game, I think, because obviously it's from the people who make Gary's Mod, which I'm not a massive fan of either. New Rust, I don't know. Rust is dead. I think all of these sort of survival games are dying. But 7 Days to Die could be bringing it back. Now, this is a game which I actually even played on the channel, and it's That Frozen Game. I can't even remember what it's called. That's all it is in my notes. It's just like it completes itself for you once you've done half of it, which is the worst thing. I just don't understand that game. I mean, I'm not someone. Let me get my phone out while I do this. I'm not someone who's a massive fan of mobile games, but like the mobile games I have are, next page, Tiny Wings, which is like a really old, like before Angry Birds, Coindozer, which is like put 2 pieces in the machine, and then, you know, those games you see on like Brighton Pier or wherever, and Solitaire. 3 games on my phone, mainly because it's a 16GB iPhone, which has the storage of a small ostrich for apps, which means nothing. What a strange. The Frozen Game, piece of shit. Although it is free, so I think it's free. I hope it's free. I can't remember. I'll have to look that up. Next is Windows 10. which I've kind of already covered when I talked about Minecraft for Windows 10. It's just a big load of arse. It's slower than Windows 8, it has all the piracy issues, it keeps trying to force you to do stuff, it keeps changing random settings. I have a business laptop that came with Windows 10, so it still has Windows 10 on it. It keeps randomly changing stuff. I'll be in the middle of writing a document and it'll shut down and upgrade something. I remember I was once streaming video and all of a sudden it just conked down and I thought, why is that? I actually found out that it downloaded an upgrade, an update for my wireless card driver. It then, in the background, uninstalled the old one. And then, while I was trying to diagnose what was wrong with it, I thought, oh, I'll restart it to see if that brings it back. Because at this point, I didn't know the driver had gone, really. I clicked restart, it said, installing new updates. One new update. Went there, and the driver number had changed. What it had done is it had uninstalled, while using it, uninstalled the drivers for something, so it could update it again. Now, the trouble is this might be fine for some people, but one, it's going to be a nightmare for, like, schools and works and stuff where their work will suddenly get lost, because it doesn't ask you, just go, you've restarted, I've lost documents and all sorts with it, and I always do documents on a laptop, so if the power goes off, I can save it. But, like, the automatic updates is such a bad thing for Windows 10. This is why a lot of people don't want to go on it, because of the privacy issues, and the trouble is, even though they've said it's the last version of Windows, like, major update, like, there won't be a Windows 11, is basically what they're meaning. I think a lot of people are scared to go to Windows 10. Like, if you release a Windows 11, then people may be more willing to upgrade because they think, oh, it's a new version. They will have got rid. And if you said you've got rid of all the spying shite, but I mean, the thing is Windows 8 is not perfect. Windows 8 is a fast version of Windows 10 when you install Start is Back, which is why I still use Windows 8 because it's vastly faster than Windows 7. But Windows 10, it's slower than Windows 8. And they have the search bar and the horrible Cortana thing, which I immediately got rid of. Installed Start is Back for Windows 10. But so it should now be Windows 8, basically. But no, it's slow. It's slower. It's bad, you know. So, yeah. And the fact that they're now really, really pushing it really makes me go, You know, it's like my machine stopped forcing pop-ups. As far as I'm concerned, you're like as bad as Norton used to be. Like, you're as bad as a virus for popping stuff up. Which Norton wasn't a virus, but I always said at the time, Norton is the worst virus you can have on your computer. At the moment, this is something that isn't on this list, but hell, I'm going to add it now. Alright, I'm going to add it underneath Windows 10 because I've had to deal with it on both the Windows 10 laptop for my business and my mum's new Lenovo, which is running Windows 8. McAfee, Internet Security, with both Dell and Lenovo. I think it was on her Lenovo, I can't remember, it was definitely on mine. You need to download a separate tool to uninstall McAfee Internet Security. Like, so it's literally a virus, because the only way of getting rid of some viruses is to install an antivirus to quarantine and get rid of it for you. If I have to download a separate program to get rid of the antivirus, as far as I'm concerned, you're as worse as a virus. And, like, another thing is when you order it, like, some places, you can choose not, like, mainly custom-built places, like CyberPower or whatever. You can choose if you want internet security or if you want nothing. Now, if I click... on Dell, you can't click nothing. It has to come with either McAfee for 1 year or for 3 years. It's just horrendous. If you want a really good one that doesn't annoy you too much, the one that I use is Kaspersky, or however you pronounce it, Kaspersky. God, this is going on long already. I'm only halfway through the list. The next one is Dinosaur Hunt, Africa Context. So this came out a couple of months after Ark, which doesn't interest me at all because dinosaurs. But I saw this, it was super cheap, it looked pretty hilarious, and it is. Even though it's not in early access, it keeps getting updated like once every week, so I think the guy's trying to make it like half decent, but you can tell it was some sort of coursework assignment, which I must admit, I want to do a video one day on my coursework assignments for games, because I mean, you've got Flappy Turd, which was a 2D Flappy Bird clone, and which like almost got kicked out of my coursework because it was offensive because it had turd in the title and it was a picture of a brown bird. It wasn't even a picture of a turd, it was a brown bird. Anyway, as well as Tesco Shopping Simulator 2014 or whenever it was, which was just a fun 3D game I made in Unreal, and Unreal is a really good engine to use. Next is Pixelmon, which is another thing that's going to upset people. It's Pokemon 1, which I find shite anyway. But it just seems a load of messing about. It's glitchy. There's so little gameplay to it that I don't know. The man who made Pixelmon needs death. Speaking of death, I hate everything about Nintendo. This might sound horrible, but I'm glad that guy, whoever it was called, died. Because, you know what, Nintendo might be able to move in a decent direction now, instead of trying to screw everybody over, which is all Nintendo seem to be doing. I wouldn't buy a Nintendo product. What I would like to see from Nintendo is something that pushes the boundaries. So their games are notoriously easy to run, because they're like the equivalent of Disney. The same art style that's really low poly count. What if they were the first 4K console, the next console they release? And how they were saying it was a handheld thing? What if you have all your games on a Nintendo DS type thing? You then put it on a wireless mat on front of the TV, and that's what you use for licenses, is your key and games and stuff. So you can watch it at you can play it at 1080p on the Nintendo DS Deluxe XRF Super Leggero or whatever it's called, and then you stick it on this wireless transfer mat, and then you can play it 4K on your TV with a separate controller. Absolutely brilliant, I think. And if Nintendo did that, I'd be impressed with them. I'm not impressed with everything they've ever done, and I can't help feeling that anyone who's a fan of Nintendo, either had it as a kid or their parents had it as a kid, and it kind of got brought upon them. I don't think they're not bringing in people who've never experienced to go and experience a Nintendo. I wouldn't walk in and play on a Nintendo. In fact, I did once in a game because someone was playing on the PS4 before it came out. But anyway, yeah. So, I'm going to take a quick break here because you can tell my voice is dying a little bit. So, go get a snack and we're back in a second for more of the whatever this thing's called, the Shite Game Awards 2015. We're about 2/3 of the way there, but we've got the 2 worst games to go over, which may take a while. See you in a minute. Okay, we're back, and let's continue with the list. Next is Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition. Now, I bought this game imagining it was a basically Tokyo-based Grand Theft Auto, which it kind of is. Obviously, I know it's not by Rockstar, it's by Square Enix, and those who have never been happy with many Square Enix games, this is the game that kind of sealed the fate for Square Enix for me. So Sleeping Dogs, I don't know, the fighting mechanics seem really stupid and they're not intuitive. And I'm really upset because I wanted especially with the decline of Grand Theft Auto PC, I wanted a new Grand Theft Auto experience, and while I'll still finish it, it's just not as good as I thought it was, and hence it's on the shite list, because shite is kind of a strong word for some of these games. But not a strong word for Minecraft yet again. Third placing upon the Shite Games list is Minecraft for the PS4. Now, I don't understand how people can enjoy the PS4 or the console versions. When I played it, it was just a load of constantly scrolling through lists. The movement seemed really janky using joysticks. It's definitely not for me, and I'll just stick with the Java PC version. Thank you very much. Now, the next one I've actually done a Jake Plays episode on, and it is agar.io, and I'm not even really going to say anything about it. If you look in the description, I forgot to mention this at the start of the video. In the description, there'll be a playlist of all the games that are in this list, so you can see them for yourselves. So yeah, one of those videos will be my agar.io video. And we'll move on now to Fallout 4, which I have continued playing. I did a Jake Plays video on it where I ended up getting glitched into a chair, so that's how sort of good Fallout 4 is at the moment. And yeah, it's just a bit crap in some ways. It's like an FPS, but it has some stuff in that make it an absolutely terrible FPS, and it's a pretty bad console port. Speaking of consoles, As you can tell, there's some of these things which aren't games. In fact, this one is actually a whole complete game system in the form of the PlayStation 4. It's been the Paper Station 4, it's just been a paperweight this last year, really. I mean, since Christmas last year, so it wasn't on the list, on last year's list, just the fact that I literally only just got the games, but that's where Far Cry 4 was. In fact, did I miss out Far Cry 4? I think I missed out Far Cry 4. Okay, we'll go back to that. It's in the list. So yeah, the PS4, I mean, the 5 games that I've played on that is Thief, which is terrible. It was in last year's terrible games. Wolfenstein, amazing game. I've got the one that came out after that game on Steam, but I haven't played it yet. Battlefield 4, which I quite enjoy. Obviously, I'd like to play it on PC, but the reason why I haven't got it is because it's not on sale ever. It's not on Steam, it's on Origin. And the Half-Line, or whatever it's called, one seems a bit and Star Wars Battlefront can take a dump. I've got a headache going on. So bad. I feel so ill. So yeah, I mean, there's also that other little shooty game. I can't remember what it was called. But it was just, where like you spin around like in a cylinder. That's quite good. That's the most fun thing I played on. Honestly, if I could go back, I'd get the Xbox One because I could play Forza 5 and Forza Horizon 2. Forza 6 looks like a massive pile of arse, and I don't recommend that to anybody from what I've seen of Kurt J. Max videos. But Forza 5 and Forza Horizon 2 seem like a load of fun, and I wish I could play them. But I can't. Now, a lot of my channel is inspired by Nerd Cubed. And sadly, one of his games is on here. It's Systems Nominal. It just seems like a massive, it was sort of, some people seem to think it has this sort of magic about it and people really enjoy it. But I just don't understand it. It just seems like a really game. I buy his pool game. I enjoy that a lot. Especially as I got that on Mac. And played it on that as well, which doesn't have any games that come with it at all. And that was just a load of fun playing the pool game. But Systems Nominal, don't really understand what the magic is about it or anything. It just seems shite. So, apologies. So I do like that. And the next one is Rocket League. Now, Rocket League I do enjoy, but the trouble is I was lucky enough to play the original Super Rocket Powered Acrobatic Robot Battle Cars, whatever the hell it was called. And honestly, that in some ways is a better game. In Rocket League, you can't score own goals. It'll just refer it to the other person. In Super Rocket blah 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 blah. If you scored an own goal, it told you lost points. It was bad, but it was good. But it told you that you were bad. And I don't know. So the maps all seem a bit in Rocket League. I preferred all the Super Rocket blah 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 maps. And there's been so much DLC released for it. I'm just for Rocket League. I'm kind of chill out a bit. I don't know. And the next game goes back to what I was saying about updates ruining games. 7 Days to Die Alpha 13, and you'll understand, you'll learn tomorrow how much I liked Alpha 12, hint hint, nudge nudge. And Alpha 13, the game has been renamed to 7 Days to Grind, because, so if you play Alpha 12, which I have a Let's Play on the channel of it, if you want to go into a building through a window, it's one axe blow to the bottom half of the window that's just got wood, like a wood frame where a window used to be, and 2 to the top window. One breaks some of the glass pieces of it, and the second one breaks the window, and you're in. You're in approximately 5 seconds, even with not fantastic tools. If you want to do that in the next version, the wood frame has 200 health points, and a normal stone axe does 10 health points, and a fire axe does 20 health points. So that's either 20 or 10 hits to break the bottom one, and for the top one, the little remnants of glass around the edge have 200. This is what I haven't played this much of the game, so if these figures are slightly wrong, don't go ape. It's only 100. It's all right. But the top thing, you have to do 200 to break out some little bits of glass, and then 200 then to break the frame again. It's just so you can only scavenge like 2 houses in a day. I mean, I must admit, I have some episodes where I can only scavenge 1 house a day, but that's because I keep dying. But, like, you know, it's just like, even if you survive, and I don't like the new inventory system. I miss the Minecraft style crafting grid, but obviously it's bigger in that game, more than 9x9. I don't know, I just kind of miss it. The crafting queue is kind of nice. That's nice, and the whole idea of it telling you how much like health is left on stuff. For example, like armored things that you have to like break for ages before you can access them. But I don't like the idea of punching trees and getting little bits of wood until it finally breaks and you get this massive puff and like loads of bits of wood fall down and you collect all those. I don't like the fact you automatically collect stuff. I kind of like the idea of pressing E, so you could, like, if that was in Minecraft, for example, I'm just going to say this because it'll be easier for more people to understand. If you're strip mining, if you could press E on just the stuff you want, for example, redstone or diamonds or whatever, but leave all the cobblestone on the floor, that would be a fantastic thing. Mojang, get on it. But it's how 7 Days to Die Alpha 12 worked. It sort of works the same in Alpha 13, but not for stuff that you're automatically mining. See, Alpha 13, not my gag. I mean, it's on 30.3 now. They've fixed a load of bugs, but a load of people are just saying, this game isn't fun, it needs to be fixed, all the grinding needs to be removed. It's not a grindy game. It was just a lot of fun in Alpha 12, and you'll see how much fun it was in Alpha 12 in my Let's Play, which you can see in the playlist below, as well as in the video tomorrow. And last, a game I actually haven't played, but I don't want to. Nyan Cat Lost in Space I might still get, but oh god, I mean you cashed in quick, didn't you? I mean, since Nyan Cat was a thing, I'm pretty sure that was last year, not this year. I need to stop playing with the mic. But what's really fun is something that Dan Nerdcube didn't play. Is there's a mode in there that looks a lot like Tiny Wings, and as I said earlier on, I actually have Tiny Wings still on my phone. So yeah, that might have to be bought just to play that mode. Now, uber important moment, because now it is the 2 worst games that I have played of 2015, and amazingly, they are both games that don't work. And the new Steam system of refunds basically makes it if you're trying to fix the purchase before asking for a refund, you can't send it back. I've only played maybe, alright, I'll be honest, maybe about 2-3 hours of Assetto Corsa, which is one of the worst games of 2015, but most of the time I spent repairing it, because it seems to, whenever I fix it, it seems to work for an hour and then break again. The latest issue I have at the moment is the fact that whenever I try and start, I'm actually going to load up the picture, I took a screenshot of the error. Whenever I try and start a race, I get a pop-up that says error, trek not found, error cannot find lods.ini for car. So basically, what it's saying is that it can't find the maps or the basically like the folder that contains all the car physics and model. Now here's the thing. The track files are still there, but it's lost its sort of log.ini file or whatever it is. It's lost its physics for it, and the cars have all lost their physics. Here's the thing. I have uninstalled that game 3 times and reinstalled it. I've done Steam verification for some reason. I mean, it could be my antivirus for some reason. Could it be automatically deleting it? I could try that. Try disabling it for 24 hours, downloading it overnight, and just seeing if it runs like that. Possibly that could be the case. But yeah, Assetto Corsa just does not work. And it's really annoying because it was a decently expensive game, and the Steam refund system basically makes it so that if you try and fix a game, spend time fixing a game, like, it just doesn't like it. I still want a refund from that game, and I try to get a refund from it, but of course I can't because of the amount of hours I've spent in it, which is about 8. And as I say, I've only played it for about 3 hours, so I've actually legitimately spent more time fixing it than... And it's different issues. Like, before the issue was, it just crashed. I had issues before where it wouldn't start. It wouldn't start in Windows 10. That was one of the reasons I went back for Windows 10, because a few of my games stopped working, and that was one of them. And last of all, we're going to go to a game which, when I bought this and played it, got me really angry because it didn't work. Because it was one of my favourite games from a while ago, and it was a remastered version of it, and it was Worms World Party Remastered. So this game is not remastered at all. The main menu is still at 480p, which is kind of nice to have some nostalgia there, but honestly, you could have made it 1080p, but with the still really big icons, because obviously 480p zoomed out to 1080p looks big. Like, you could still have it big, like how it would be, but at least have it like a decent resolution. Another issue I had was when playing the game, the timetable sort of like score thing would be in the top left, obviously 480p size, top left, covering up half the game. A load of different buttons didn't work, and I think that was because it was trying to interact with the window thing. And the window that was open, it was Windows 98 looking. So like, they hadn't even bothered remastering this strange menu that went over the top. And sadly, I played it for 2.3 hours, I think. Where's Steam? And Steam chucked it out, saying I can't have a refund for it. Now, I left a review. For Worms World Party. And I thought I would just read this out to you. So, let's go. Worms World Party review. That's just what I had on the top of the menu. Let me just pause this. Oh, another game that I should really add to this list. I'm going to add that as well to that list. We'll come back. So we need to do Far Cry again. Okay. Whoa. We'll skip over that. Right. Worms World Party. WTF is this, T17? I loved all the old Worms, like Worms 2, World Party, Armageddon, etc. But my god, what an abortion this game really is. Remastered, haha, the menu looks like a page from Microsoft Bob, and I'm still at 43640 by 480. My big problem is the fact that the game is broken. I have some strange bottles like it came from Windows 98 in the top left, I presume 640 by 480, so it's very large. Covering the screen, the mouse also does not work in match, meaning I can't use half the weapons. The controls seem really backwards, backspace, jumps while space is fire. Maybe change more settings, I never looked. The game flat out crashes when you start it in Windows 10, it's just not remastered. All they have done is change the config file for extra resolution, aspect ratios and FPS. Severely disappointed. Should you buy it? No. Should you get a refund? Tried. Only game for too long. Steam refund policy is a start, but it's still pretty shit. So let's have a look at Worms World Party. I played it for 11 minutes. What? Oh, it's because I had it for more than 2 weeks. I bought it and then didn't play it for like a month, and then it got kicked out. Apparently there's a new Worms coming out, but it won't happen. I might have to play this game again on the latest update. We'll have to see. So yeah, that's Worms World Party. So they are the two worst games. Now sadly, while doing this list, I did miss out a couple. There's Far Cry 4, and it's just not as fun as Far Cry 3. My voice, as you can tell, my voice is going again. Far Cry 4, I used to love the driving around, take on an arm, take on one of the roaming not bosses, but the roaming enemies. And then go off to what I was doing. But the driving is horrible, just using the left stick. I don't like it. I want proper two triggers in the stick. Which apparently you can change an option, which I didn't know, so I might have to play some of that again. And another one that I forgot to add on here, because I only played it yesterday, is Insurgency. I bought it for £1.60 instead of the usual £10, and it looked like sort of Battlefield or COD, 25% and 75% CSGO. It is actually built in the Source engine, so that's probably why. But for some reason, it just plays really crappily to me. It wobbles around too much. It's not accurate. I don't like it. It's not sharp. It's not sharp and really nice and precise like CSGO is. That's what I want. I want a COD that's nice and feels really... I want to strip down COD back in either modern or World War II type stuff without all the jumping about like a tit bollocks. And... and it's feeling really nice, sharp and precise like CSGO is, but there's no games like that, and I am a sad person. And so that's how many games? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. 28 bad games, and how many good games do you have altogether? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, so it's not that far off, 22, 28, which is good, although it does mean that by, like, poll of vote, that 2015 was a bad year for games, because there was more bad games than good games on the list. Whereas last year, I think they were even. Like, bar one, I just added one in to make it even, so, yeah, I think that this year was a worse year for gaming compared to last year. Now, at the same time, I don't play something like a silly game that Ubisoft make. Well, I mean, there's Watch Dogs, that's the other one with the pirates. That one. Assassin's Creed. I don't play any of them, so that's why they're not on there, but yeah. So, I hope you enjoyed. Remember that tomorrow I'm doing another good games, and then the day after that I'm going to be doing sort of a review / update video type thing. And we're going to sort of have some things that are changing with the channel, as well as other things. And yeah, so I'll see you all in the next one. Hopefully my voice is a bit better. Please leave a like, it helps me a lot. This has been a really long video. If you've stayed to the end, say cheese in the comments. And yeah, subscribe. And remember to check the description for the playlist to all of the games in this video. This video will take me a long time to make, obviously. I mean, it's taken me 45 minutes just to record this, but I'm gonna have to like find videos of all the games and clip it in, and I'm using a new editing software that I don't know anything about, and it's complicated. Just leave me a like, please. Subscribe to the video every single day, and I will see you all in the next one. Cheerio. Boom! Fucking did it.